truly people who had gone to Japan. It was like talking to people who had traveled to the future.
Dude, I would come back with mechanical pencils that made my teachers like have some kind of existential crisis because they'd never seen some shit like this.
A mechanical pencil?
Yes.
We didn't have mechanical pencil technology?
No, not like everyone had the Bic, like the plastic Bic mechanical pencil.
Okay. That's another level.
I don't think I've seen the next step in the evolution of mechanical pencils.
Baby.
What are we talking?
Bro, I would either do like 0.5 millimeter or 0.7 millimeter lead. I had different leads that I would come through with.
Is that thinner or thicker than
those
Bic?
where it's like a revolver where you like press a button and it like recycles.
You
to the
can
next
kind of
level
just
or something.
no. It's like each pen because you could see like it's like this is a 0.5 millimeter lead. I like to write with a 0.7 just because
different tips per in a single pen.
Yeah. Because like the lead that I think came out of a Bic is like a 0.5 millimeter. Anyway, this is nerdy pencil talk.
I gotta say, if that was giving your teacher an existential crisis, they probably had some other stuff going on.
That's it.
No, Mrs. Lau was going through a terrible divorce. I remember.
That's it. I'm gonna start drinking at school
because like she's not wearing her wedding ring.
Yeah. Oh, you noticed that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring?
We were talking cash shit about it. Like, yo, where's your wedding ring? She's like, students, that's something in my life that I'm like, all right.
Okay.
It's like a tear is welling up in her
The
eye.
very first day, she doesn't wear it.
Yeah. Why are you crying? Because you lost your ring?
She looks troubled. And look, she's not wearing her wedding ring.
Did you lose your ring?
Yeah. I think it's the mechanical pencil that made her do this.
Yeah. I told y'all she never seen some shit like this. Have no life perspective.
Yeah. You're super intuitive when it comes to emotions, but you're also a dumb kid. So you're like,
what's wrong?
Like, she looks troubled and she's not wearing her wedding ring. I bet she lost her wedding ring.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up, forgetful?
What is it? You lost your wedding ring or is this pencil blowing your fucking mind, American?
This is an iHeart podcast.
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paula Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians, artists, and activists to bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
The Moment is a space for the conversations we've been having as father and daughter for years.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paula Ramos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On a cold January day in 1995, 18-year-old Krista Pike killed 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer in the woods of Knoxville, Tennessee. Since her conviction, Krista has been sitting on death row. How does someone prove that they deserve to live?
We are starting the recording now. Please state your first and last name.
Krista Pike.
Listen to Unrestorable Season 2, Proof of Life, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I just normally do straight stand-up, but this is a bit different.
What do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? Answer, a new podcast called Wisecrack, where a comedian finds himself at the center of a chilling true crime story.
Does anyone know what show they've come to see? It's a story. It's about the scariest night of my life.
This is Wisecrack, available now. Listen to Wisecrack on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When news broke earlier this year that baby KJ, a newborn in Philadelphia, had successfully received the world's first personalized gene editing treatment, it represented a milestone for both researchers and patients. But there's a gripping tale of discovery behind this accomplishment and its creators. I'm Evan Ratliff, and together with biographer Walter Isaacson, we're delving into the story of Nobel Prize winner Jennifer Doudna, the woman who's helped change the trajectory of humanity. Listen to On CRISPR, the story of Jennifer Doudna with Walter Isaacson on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, the internet, and welcome to season 405, episode 3 of Daily Zeitgeist! Yeah! It's a production of iHeartRadio. It's a podcast where we take a deep dive into America's shared consciousness. What are we doing? It's Seinfeld. Boom, 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 boom. It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. 9:10:25. Baby.
You know what that means. One more day till 9/11.
9/11 Eve.
Happy birthday.
It's National TV
Get your
Dinner.
towers out.
National TV Dinner Day. Okay, shout out to. I remember I used to eat these weird. I begged my mom for a TV dinner that had like the grossest brownie in it
Nasty
that
shit.
you had to take out. It was disgusting, but I saw it on TV and I wanted. It's also National Swap Ideas Day. The picture is a little menacing because it's a white man speaking to a black woman, and it feels like anyone who's worked in a corporation, this guy's stealing her ideas probably at work. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, I think that's a great idea.
Ideas.
Yeah, swap ideas.
Let's swap ideas. What does that even mean? I get to take your ideas, you get to take mine. So I get to explain some shit to you, and I get to steal your ideas. It's great.
I'm going to tell you about a creative problem I'm having. You're going to offer something back. I will steal that and present that as my own idea to get a raise. Have you ever had a blatant idea ripped from you? Like ripped from you?
An idea ripped from me.
I had it when I worked at Condé Nast. Bro, that place was cutthroat. Like, you'd say shit and people would go in a meeting and act like they came up with the whole shit.
I do have, I don't remember this super well, but when I was like a desk assistant at ABC News, I helped with the pitch for that thing, the show that ended up becoming, when I was working on it, it was a segment that was, it was basically like a moral candid camera.
What would you do?
And it ended up being like a whole ass show. What would you do? Like after I left ABC News.
Wait,
I don't know.
A moral candid camera? You have to explain this further.
It's like hidden camera, and you put people in like moral quandaries and see how they act.
Like a lost child with no adult around.
Yeah, and see like who comes up and steps up and is a hero, and then it's like, whoa, there are like good people doing stuff around us. But I don't think it always was that.
So instead of jokes, it just makes you think.
Makes you say.
Because there was also, it's funny because there was also the Nickelodeon show, What Would You Do?
Yeah.
What would you do? That was a game show. Anyway.
That's right. Anyways, I don't think they like stole my ideas. I think I just, you know, as person,
I had somebody steal my idea, and then at a all hands meeting, the idea, like this series that I did, got props, and this motherfucker stood up and took the credit. Was like clasping their hands like on the side, like, thank you. Obviously, when I came up with that, I'm like, just because I work for you does not mean you came up with that shit.
Oh, for sure. There were some early days of Cracked, there were some executives who we would sit in these meetings and watch them just be like, we're fucking killing it out here, who we hadn't talked to in like months. Yeah, very interesting. Anyways, but it was just an idea swap.
It's an idea swap, man.
We're swapping ideas.
You give me your idea and I give you nothing.
And you give me your idea, I take the credit and then give you a pat on the back without saying any words that can incriminate me. Yeah.
The way that I get around that is I just pitch bad ideas.
That's smart.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Oh, just to see if someone takes them. We're like, yeah, go with that one.
No, just in general, all my ideas are bad.
It reminds
me
of
the smartest people I've ever worked with were really good at like letting you know. They wouldn't turn down a project. They would do bad work on the project that they like didn't want to do, and then you're just like, oh, okay, yeah. All right, that makes sense because this person, like, they just aren't interested in doing it. So that's good, like, good advice for people. You know, don't be like, I don't really have just do bad work on that one and then do amazing work on the one that you actually want to do. And there you go.
Smart.
All right. My name is Jack O'Brien, a.k.a. Drug Fire. Infant caught up in the drug fire. Mass shooting I made up. Drug fire. Ooh. Drug fire. My voice couldn't do it.
Damn.
My voice couldn't do it.
You got it.
Nick Sepper Tyrannus on the Discord.
Yeah.
So you guys started talking about the drug fire thing, the Benny Johnson story.
Mm-hmm.
That, you don't think DC's bad?
Mm-hmm.
My infant almost died.
Nearly died.
In a drug fire after mass shootings. Did you see the New York Times article about him that came out after that?
Yeah.
like just like a famous nonstop lot, like every place he's gone.
Yep.
First of all, they were like, okay, about those. He claims that like there were multiple murders caught on his Ring camera, and like
they didn't fuck all about.
Yeah, there was zero evidence that there's been any murders like in his neighborhood in the past like 2 decades. And like, yeah.
Jack, it's not funny, man. Like, listen to him himself.
My infant nearly died in a drug fire.
Yes.
After mass shootings.
Okay.
Thank you.
That sequence, it happens all the time.
And this happens every day in Washington, D.C. until Donald Trump came and installed the National Guard as gardeners. But it's literally like, it's kind of funny to just like read his career where it's like, he was at BuzzFeed for some reason, and like immediately they were like, "Oh, all 45 articles you wrote were plagiarized." And then he like went to some right-wing think tank, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's also plagiarizing everything here." And then he, just nonstop, over and over, can't stop lying.
I was rooting for him too this whole time.
We were all rooting for you, Benny Johnson.
All rooting for you.
Thrilled to be joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Miles Gray.
Miles Gray, aka Informant. You know the president went to Epstein's Island to take the whole thing down. Okay, shout out to Smooth Lou for that bit of wonderful throwback. Man, what happened to Snow?
God damn, that song really went, I gotta say.
Oh man, the best was, remember when Jim Carrey made fun of it on Living Color? And at one point, he just breaks into doing Popeye talk. He's like, let's take the boom boom down.
Good bit.
Solid bit.
You remember when Jim Carrey did Vanilla Ice?
Yeah.
That was fucking blew my mind.
Hey, remember?
Also, remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Fuck, it was the first time that I realized Vanilla Ice might not be the coolest person on the planet.
Oh, damn. It took it to Living Color. You're like, fuck,
man. It's like my favorite show making fun of my favorite musician.
What do you do? Oh,
what man. Do you do?
Well, you picked the right one. Jack.
Miles, we're thrilled to be joined in our third seat by a brilliant TV writer, performer, enrolled member of the Cowlitz Indian tribe who's written on shows for Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, DreamWorks, the Netflix animated series Spirit Rangers, the creator of the brilliant web series Gone Native. Please welcome back to this show the hilarious, the talented Joey Clift!
That's right. I'm Joey Clift, a.k.a. Zeit Gang, Zeit you up. Zeit Gang, Zeit you up.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to me coming up with that in a panic 30 seconds ago when I realized, oh shit, we do songs here.
That's a very AYSO coded. Song. We are proud of you. Say, we are proud of you.
Thanks.
Isn't that what they do? That one? That was like a thing I remember at our school, like after a game, like you got through, like you walk through a thing and they say, we are proud of you. Say,
for a second, I thought that was you saying that you were proud of me, and I was so touched by that.
Like, oh thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
I am, so to speak.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get that pop culture reference from your high school, Miles.
No, you never heard that? That was like a cheerleader. Wait, where did you come up with the construction for the Zeit Gang, Zeit You Up?
It was Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk you up. Say Uptown Funk you up.
Okay, look, I will be vindicated because Zeit Gang, I know people in Zeit Gang have heard the we are proud of you. Say we are proud of you.
Shout out because that was
Uptown
high school.
That was pre-Uptown Funk.
It's pre-Uptown Funk. Actually, this was before Uptown Funk, so they probably stole it from my junior high or something.
Uptown Funk downstream from your high school.
They weren't stealing it. They were just idea sharing, man.
Yeah. Just swapping ideas with Bruno.
Just swapping ideas.
Let's do it. Hey, it's free idea swap day, everybody. Anyways, Joey, we're thrilled you're here.
Yeah.
We're going to get to know you a little bit better in a moment. First, we're going to tell the listeners a couple of the things we're talking about. We got a new Gallup poll that's saying capitalism not so popular anymore. The popularity of capitalism is going down. I want to talk about that in the context of just everything else that's happening. The Democratic Party's reaction, they're positioned to be the alternative to just the Terminator skeleton of capitalism that is this current administration. It's just like all the human flesh is melted off, no more and pretending to be nice. This is that is a reference from Matt Christman. He was like, eventually it's just going to be the Terminator skeleton with the red eyes. They're not even going to pretend to be nice. And I think we're at that point where they're like, yeah, Department of War, everything is a fucking...
It's going to become, Department of Killing People.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was also a reference to Miles High School, to be fair.
That was.
That's right. Yeah. Anyways, so the Democratic Party is the alternative. There are only they're John Connor. And they're on the job. Don't worry, guys. They're on the job.
John Connor.
And of course, the new AI versions of scenes from the Bible.
Hell yeah.
That are basically turning the Bible into an action movie. A lot of fun. Who knows what we'll have time to get to? One thing I do know we'll have time to get to is to ask our guest, Joey, what is something from your search history that's revealing about who you are?
Okay, so a recent thing from my search history is, did Christopher Columbus have sex with a manatee? So there's apparently they have all of his journals from his kind of travels around the world. And there's a specific entry where he talks about how he thinks he saw a bunch of mermaids, and then he says, they're not quite as beautiful as I thought that they would be.
They're a little lumpy.
And it's clearly they were manatees. So my question is, why isn't that in a PragerU short? I feel like it's just right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wondering, just chin stroking, they aren't, from afar, they aren't as beautiful.
It's not horrifying. It's just I thought they'd be a 10, but they're like an 8.
So the guy who's been at sea for 3 months, just debilitatingly horny. It's that if you've seen that movie The Lighthouse, where a big plot point is that Robert Pattinson carves a naked woman out of a piece of rock and then keeps jacking off to it, is becomes enchanted by it. I really think that is. I think that's what we were dealing with for the majority of human history. People whose brains were broken by their unbelievable horniness.
When to answer the question, did Christopher Columbus have sex with a manatee? The answer is, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Those have a lot of research. It's chances are,
Just him being they're not as pretty as I thought. Has me think that's doing a lot for me.
There's a ... at the end of that sentence for sure.
But it's he's scratched it out. Nothing. Nothing, Bobadilla. Leave me alone. I'm writing my journals.
Came to realize all at once that they weren't as beautiful as they seemed at first. I don't know what it was that changed, but we were in close quarters, and suddenly I was rocketed.
Understood.
Yeah.
I understood the beauty. Wow. That is, I feel if we can't get enough people to cancel the idea of Christopher Columbus for the era of untold, colonialism that he ushered in with his explorations, maybe it's him fucking a manatee that can get some people he fucked a manatee?
No. Well, he was writing that in his journal while riding on the back of...
No. Yeah. I said he fucked humanity.
Right.
I gotta say, okay, so I'm, as a Native person, I'm obviously very for Indigenous Peoples Day. But I gotta say, after reading this, I'm not opposed to Columbus Day being a holiday. I just think instead of it being in October, it should be January 10th, which is the date in his journal where he maybe had sex with a manatee. We have the date.
Wait, and why this day, young man? Check out his journals, man.
Well, you see. What is something you think is underrated?
Honestly, singing in a movie theater. I went to the K-pop Demon Hunters sing-along screening. I had the most fun in my life. Also, I got to say, this was at 10 a.m. on a Saturday screening and nobody else was singing. So I felt the need to really bring it.
Oh, no.
Belt it out.
Yeah. I was just trying to close the Hanmoon myself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is there's a real, they want you to sing. The plot of that movie is such, and we're almost all the way through. We watched it until bedtime the other night, and now I have 20 minutes left. But
it's so good.
It is really fun. And they do really want you to sing along because otherwise the devil will win.
Yeah.
It is also just so funny because I feel like I was in a sold out screening. It was at the Alamo Draft House, and I feel like everybody there wanted to, they were just we're watching the movie, shut up. And it's the lyrics are at the bottom of the screen.
It is literally a sing-along show.
Yeah.
It was the first 20 minutes of a middle school dance in there. where everyone's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that was like, and I was
dancing,
like, and I was kind of
sarcastically.
When I was like getting that impression, so I was like, oh, I'm going to sing louder so everybody else has like the bravery to sing. But then I realized that made everybody sing less, and then I was like, well, I'm just committed to screaming my lungs out.
Well, now I'm the guy who's going to sing, I guess.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I mean, that makes me actually like feel worse for society than I already do. It's like, y'all can't even go to the sing-along screening and just fucking get down. I'm screaming it in my house.
I think every movie should be a sing-along screening. I want to go to Weapons, and I want the script to be at the bottom of the screen so I can yell the words along with the movie.
Just go see any like original trilogy screening of Star Wars. You got people talking the fucking. I remember like years ago going to something like that, and people were like whispering the lines, like, "These aren't the droids you're looking for." I'm like, "Shut the fuck!"
I'd be
up,
like,
dude.
"No, say it proud. Be proud of yourself when you're saying this."
But they're saying the wrong lines instead of "These aren't the droids you're looking for." They're like, "The droids are looking for you." Fuck.
Yeah, these are droids you're not looking for. Okay, can we rewind it?
Next time you do the sing along, you can bring my 7 and 9-year-old, and they will back you up.
Oh, good.
We watched they were singing at the top of their lungs.
I just need somebody to meet my enthusiasm level. You know,
that's right.
Yeah,
I just like yelling in public, and this was my opportunity to do that.
Yeah. So much singing and fighting at the same time.
Yeah,
underrated combo that movies haven't been using. Like, I feel like a lot of fight choreography, like dance fighting, has been West Side Story style dance fighting.
Yeah.
But this is they could have made this a PG-13 thing that would have been like really gnarly. Like a lot of the things they do to the demons. Fortunately, for like young children, the demons like
they explode
disintegrate into glitter.
Yeah.
There's
purple
like
smoke
poof,
or some
glitter.
shit. Yeah.
But if they had just been like, and they get disemboweled when they cut them in half, it would have been.
And it's real painful.
They do not like it. I mean, they did stick that in Star Wars where like the droids are experiencing pain for no reason. They're just like, I don't know. We thought it'd be funny.
What, the kids don't like that?
What's something you think is overrated? This droid has anxiety. What's something you think is overrated?
Okay, so something that I think is overrated. The song Just Keep Watching by Tate McRae off of the F1 soundtrack, because it won Song of the Summer at the MTV Music Video Awards over Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. I mean,
really?
Yeah, like what the F? Like you're not seeing kids going to sold out screenings of F1 and screaming a Tate McRae song.
The F1 sing-along?
Like the president's not trying to meet the director of F1. There's not laser light shows for F1 over major cities. Like, what the F are you thinking?
What the fuck, man? I didn't realize that. I mean,
this was just over the weekend, and truly wild. Truly a wild choice.
God, it was funny too when the other day, Jack, I was talking about K-pop Demon Hunters and I like the song, and you were like, "Yeah, the #1 song in the country," and I was like, "It is."
Yeah, you thought you had discovered it,
Jack. I don't know if you heard about this.
You got this little indie jam,
dude. You got that thing Netflix, Jack. You probably don't even have that, but
So all right, I know that probably doesn't make sense to you. It's internet flicks, which is a word for movies.
And get this, flicks, not spelled CK. Ended with a different
an X,
letter.
Man. They're on some other shit, dude. And they make a lot of cool Korean stuff, man. This one's fucking no exception.
They're really cutting edge.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find the Apple Music list to see if it's still the #1 song, but who cares?
I mean,
there was a time
within the past 2 weeks where I think the entire soundtrack was like 7 of the songs in the Billboard top 10 were songs from the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack.
Yeah,
Jesus,
it's absurd.
Yeah, it's like truly a cultural moment.
Only like 4 of the songs off the F1 soundtrack were in there. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paola Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians.
I would be the first immigrant mayor in generations, but 40% of New Yorkers were born outside of this country.
Artists and activists. I mean, do you ever feel demoralized?
I might personally lose hope. This individual might lose the faith, but there's an institution that doesn't lose faith. And that's what I've believed in.
To bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
There's not a single day that Paola and I don't call or text each other, sharing news and thoughts about what's happening in the country. This new podcast will be a way to make that ongoing intergenerational conversation public.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paola Ramos as part of the My Cultura podcast network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When news broke earlier this year that baby KJ, a newborn in Philadelphia, had successfully received the world's first personalized gene editing treatment, it represented a milestone for both researchers and patients. But there's a gripping tale of discovery behind this accomplishment and its creators. I'm Evan Ratliff, and together with biographer Walter Isaacson, we're delving into the story of Nobel Prize winner Jennifer Doudna, the woman who's helped change the trajectory of humanity. Listen to On CRISPR, the story of Jennifer Doudna with Walter Isaacson on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a tape-recorded statement. The person being interviewed is Krista Gale Pike. This is in regards to the death of a choline slimmer.
She just started going off on me, but I hit her. And I just hit her and hit her and hit her and hit her.
On a cold January day in 1995, 18-year-old Krista Pike killed 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer in the woods of Knoxville, Tennessee. Since her conviction, Krista has been sitting on death row.
The state has asked for an execution date for Krista.
We let people languish in prison for decades, raising questions about who we consider fundamentally unrestorable. How does someone prove that they deserve to live?
We are starting the recording now. Please state your first and last name.
Krista Pike.
Listen to Unrestorable Season 2, Proof of Life, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
My name is Ed. Everyone say hello, Ed. I'm from a very rural background myself. My dad is a farmer, and my mum is a cousin, so, it's not,
What do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? I know it sounds like the start of a bad joke, but that really was my reality 9 years ago.
I just normally do straight stand-up, but this is a bit different.
On stage stood a comedian with a story that no one expected to hear.
On the 22nd of July 2015, a 23-year-old man had killed his family. And then he came to my house.
So what do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? A new podcast called Wisecrack, where stand-up comedy and murder take center stage. Available now. Listen to Wisecrack on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back. And yeah, there's a new Gallup poll that says that capitalism is at a... They started asking about this. They didn't even think to ask about this until 2010. They're like, wait, do we like capitalism? Is this a good thing? And back then, 61% of people approved of capitalism. And then they were like, and fucking, why not ask, what do you think of socialism? And back then, 36% of people approved of socialism. So since then, capitalism has slid 7 percentage points. Socialism has gone up 3 percentage points. Socialism's fighting a fucking tough uphill battle in the United States. But
one way to put that, tough uphill battle against the most propagandized people on the planet.
I do just think this is worth noting. We're bombarded with news and daily realities that make it seem like this version of capitalism is unceasing and unbeatable and will be here forever. But I do think that's at least partially, it feels that way because we're inside the propaganda machine for capitalism. Mm-hmm. You know, they will cover the local news covers doorbuster sales like their sporting events. Oh, yeah. And then they won't cover the fact that a local corporation or a local country club has been caught poisoning your water supply.
Yeah. No. How long has that one lady been in line for PlayStation?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see Black Friday videos of like an old lady getting stabbed over a PS5 as the person who did the stabbing's the hero.
Look how crazy these people are about deals.
Bankers will be like, my kid's been talking about that too. I mean, I get it. I get it. You're like, what about the poisoned water?
Yeah.
Well, one thing I just want to highlight that you brought up is like, it is, so 2010, the positive ratings for capitalism was 61%. Now it's 54%. That means that since 2010, after multiple financial collapses, record high unemployment, price increases, CEOs having so much money that they're literally building multi-million-dollar doomsday bunkers, only 7% of people have been like, wait a second, capitalism's given me second thoughts.
I mean, I think that's where like the people's probably they probably don't even, like the people are asking, like, I don't even know the definition of capitalism.
It's like asking a fish, like, what do you think of water? It's just,
they're like, love it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do I love it or just like it?
I don't know. Like, is it bad? They're like asking the pollster, is it bad? Well, no, I'm asking you that. Oh.
But even like the people who don't know to be like, I'm slightly less enthusiastic about capitalism. Like, I feel like we're seeing these little things, like the Zoran story, which it's, not the story, the actual event, which has the story of the event of his, like, shocking political win has been like, this guy might be a very talented politician. It's like treated as like a lightning bolt out of the clear blue sky.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of exactly what you would expect to happen if, you live in a world where every fucking day there's more news about the devastating consequences of this current system that we live in. So I don't know. It's not like major progress, but I do feel like there is a thing happening that, like, people just like, why the feeling in their bones is telling them that like something is wrong around them. They might not know the exact wording for it, but I do feel like there is progress being made.
Yeah.
So it's like in the Animatrix when like when the runner is just like, wait a second, I can see a couple of numbers ahead of me or something
exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that?
Like, there's this, have you guys seen this VH1 video that is making the rounds that's like, I don't know exactly what, like, it's a Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Yeah, it's the Fabulous Life of
The Fabulous Life of, and it's a segment about this New York billionaire that I don't know if Miles you can play it for a second here.
Yeah.
But this is like where we're coming from that I just want to play for you.
Oh man, I totally remember this like intro.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy seems cool. I wonder who he could be.
Yeah.
Financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Whoa.
Jeff was a high school math teacher until he traded his blackboard for the big board in 1976. Eventually launching his own exclusive finance firm for billionaire clients. But he just couldn't keep out of the classroom.
Uh-oh.
So when he was shopping for...
Dude, that line,
he just couldn't keep out of the classroom.
It's just so jarring to see his story over like the VH1 behind the music, like record scratch, and then he did this other thing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's traded it in for the big board.
For a new house, he bought himself an entire schoolhouse. And transformed it into the largest single residence in all of Manhattan, whopping 51,000 square feet.
Hey, somebody should look into this
guy.
Oh yeah! Like,
they just have a
sample. What the fuck?
But that's where we're coming from. Where like that was deemed like there's like a guy from like Paper Magazine, which was like a hipster magazine that is just like, man, this guy, I mean, when you got 3 planes, your life's gonna be pretty cool. And I know, it's like talking about his trip to Africa with Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, hanging out with the bigwigs like Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey.
Well, spaceman.
and a Boeing 727 with, of course, an in-flight trading room.
He has a Boeing 727. I'm just wondering now, what do you need a commercial-size airliner for?
Good question.
Comes in handy when you've got powerful friends to fly around.
Oh.
When Bill Clinton organized a week-long tour of
this is so fucking disturbing.
In his personal 727.
Wow.
So that's where we're coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're making progress. I think everybody, like, from that point of view, where, like, that was just the steady buzz in the background, was just like, this guy is cool. He's a billionaire, to, like, now we get to see what actually goes on behind the scenes of somebody like that.
I do got to say, I think that this video has shown me what Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein have done together, and they're just trading ideas, guys.
They're just
swapping ideas.
Just idea swap.
Idea swap day, man, on a fucking commercial jetliner.
Idea swap.
Who needs a plane that size? Go dig a little fucking deeper, please.
Why do you buy a school?
I know, it's like funny that they like kind of, there are all these like
keep
question marks.
I mean, there's no way, like, during the research for the segment, didn't encounter, for instance, that one of those planes was nicknamed the Lolita Express. Right?
Yeah. Named the Lolita Express. I wonder what was going on there.
Yeah, or just answering that question. Like, why does he need a plane that big? Anyway, moving on.
So those just things that people can't deny that they're seeing with their own eyes are...
It's wild. He was charged a year before this episode aired.
Is that real?
Charged. He had criminal charges in Palm Beach in 2006. This shit came out in 2007. But hey, look. He's got money. I mean, and that's the same thing. Like, it wouldn't have even mattered because that shows like this were just purely focused on, like, look at all the money. Look at what money do. That, of course, they're like, I don't know, freaking ignore the charges. He's Bill Clinton's friend. He's got a jet.
Yeah. So I feel like that's not too far from where our current even mainstream media would like to keep things. Like, that's where they're just like, it's fun. They're billionaires. Man, who knows what goes on there? And then when somebody like is actually like, capitalism might be bad, we should like do some things to push back against it. They're like, shock election result. What the... These people must be brainwashed by the new Jurassic Park movie, as we talked about. That was their reaction.
I mean, I am brainwashed by the new Jurassic Park movie. So that is fair.
Those are explanation for the Zoran Mamdani win was, all these people must be, it's from watching all these Hollywood movies with socialist messaging.
They were like, they think he's a velociraptor.
Right.
I better vote for him. I don't want him to attack me. He's a raptor. But yeah, I mean, like, this goes along with, like, in the U.S. now, our rights are just rapidly eroding, and we have an administration that is just hell-bent on redefining what freedom even means in, like, any context for every person. And luckily, we have an ill-equipped, naive, and frightened opposition party in the Democrats to essentially piss themselves as they pray for some kind of well-timed blood clot to happen.
I think that's all they've got right now.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, the mainstream.
Yeah.
You know who I think is going to solve all this? Chris Cuomo.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Cuomo.
Get Andrew out of here. Get the younger Cuomo in here, the cooler one. But yeah, they're currently, the Democratic Party is just, ever since Election Day, they have just been chugging terrible advice on being more centrist as a way to fight back and win voters. And it's essentially operating on the same like bullshit idea that like fighting for people's rights forcefully was too woke, and not even forcefully. I shouldn't even say that. That merely talking about the lack of rights people have in this country was too woke and cost them the election. And they're saying that, look, we just need to go back to the status quo talking points and language. So in Politico, they got this memo that was shared, that was being circulated amongst Democratic circles from this, centrist Democrat think tank, The Third Way. And they're just a terrible organization. And their whole thing is like, they put out a list of 45 words and phrases they want Democrats to avoid using, alleging the terms
this is wild.
A quote, wall between us and everyday people of all races, religions, and ethnicities. It's a set of words that The Third Way suggests, quote, people simply do not say, yet they hear them from Democrats.
Right.
These terms,
it's all messaging, man. It's got to be messaging. It can't be the thing that they're saying. It has to be how they're saying it.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that essentially what they're saying is like, look, you can talk about whatever you want. We just think it'd be really make middle America more open to your ideas if you sprinkled a few slurs in.
Yeah, how about that? Or some F-bombs. I mean, a lot of these terms just sound like things that wealthy people who are in control of things are tired of hearing about, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, some of it, like stakeholders, I wouldn't mind if people stopped saying stakeholders all the time. But
I think it's the only thing my friends are talking about. Stakeholders.
That's like business speak. I feel like that's like CEO talk.
Here are some of the terms, okay? Privilege. Violence, as in environmental violence, dialogue.
So just like the things that they have that they're being accused of.
Triggering, othering, microaggression, holding space, body shaming, subverting norms. What? Subverting norms? Systems of oppression.
Yeah, cultural cultural about that.
Dude, cultural appropriation. We gotta stop
the fuck
saying
up.
that. Overton window, existential threat to the climate, democracy, economy, radical transparency, stakeholders, the unhoused, food insecurity, housing insecurity, person who immigrated, birthing person, cisgender, dead naming, heteronormative, patriarchy, LGBTQIA+, BIPOC, allyship, incarcerated people, involuntary confinement. That's just a little sample of what they're talking about. They're like, it sounds like also a lot of these things are tied to, societal ills that we're trying to reckon with.
I think that's like part of my issue is like, is it that they don't like the word usage, or are they just like stop talking about LGBTQ issues and BIPOC people,
Right. It depends on your flavor. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of the third way executives said, quote, "We are doing our best to get Democrats to talk like normal people and stop talking like they're leading a seminar at Antioch."
Right.
"We think language is one of the central problems we face with normie voters, signaling that we are out of touch with how they live, think, and talk." Okay, first of all, they offer no alternate options for how to speak.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So what are you fucking saying? Also,
let's be more direct and actually address the problems that are facing these things. Maybe I could get behind that.
Yeah, instead of
just
saying,
use normal words to do it. Because I do think like in some way, in the same way we talk about like obscure language being used to like make it so that economic shit is like confusing and you can't understand what's going on. I do feel like sometimes people use like obscure language to address
very
these
academic,
things.
Yeah,
sure. Academic language to address these things that are actually like problems that they don't plan on addressing,
Yeah.
It seems like basically what they're asking for is instead of saying the unhoused have food insecurity, you should say bums be hungry.
Yeah, exactly. It's truly like they're basically freaked out by people saying trans people deserve rights, and like that stopped again calling unhoused people bums and hobos or some shit.
Right.
And I agree. There is something cringe about hearing certain Democrats evoke kind of like this language, but it's not because like I don't think this isn't a vernacular issue. Okay, this is like a fucking authenticity issue, because when people bring stuff up like food insecurity or inequality or housing inequality, I think the fact that they're not even putting forward policies that even remotely address these things.
Yeah.
It just sounds hollow. So more than that, people are like, they say stuff like that's bullshit. People are just tired of hearing them say shit they don't actually follow through on, because plenty of people, if you said we need to make houses cheaper or address housing insecurity or food, people are like, yeah, that's intersecting with my life. And again, I think the times we're in right now, it calls for like a radical departure from the status quo, which again is something this party is fatally committed to.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like there is something to the idea of like being a little bit more relatable in how that you talk. Like that's why like one of the reasons people love Tim Walz so much is that like he seems like a dude. But it's like, it doesn't feel like the purpose of this is that. It feels like the purpose of this is just like, stop talking about trans rights, like.
Yeah. Well, what they're doing is, because you hear all the time, the talk about, quote, the groups is how the establishment Democratic Party talks about. They talk about activism. And they say the groups, they're getting up our ass about fucking not defending the environment or climate degradation or, addressing unhoused people. It's like, oh my gosh, they're so noisy. So this is basically saying get rid of, and these are all the groups, The people who are talking about radical transparency in our government, that's an activist group. There's an activist bloc talking about systems of oppression. That's group talk, cultural appropriate. I'm tired of hearing from people of color about this. Let's exclude them. And that's how this reads. It's not about actually addressing any of this shit like with policy, because I can totally see how you could say, let's stop saying housing insecurity. Let's say affordable housing, or like, hey, let's make shit cheaper to talk about inflation.
Rent is expensive. Yeah.
Right. And, there was a tweet where some centrist Dem was like crying over the fact that progressives had like a charismatic candidate in Zoran Mamdani. And we're like, why can't we have someone that captures the public's imagination like Zoran does, but for centrism? They said that shit
They do. Andrew Cuomo. Whenever I think of his ideas, I'm like, wow, thanks for painting a picture, dude.
Yeah, wow, centrism fucking sucks.
Fair.
And to that person,
the picture is not good.
Yeah, like, hey, fuckwit, read the fucking room. People aren't following Mamdani because he's like Riz Khalifa out here just captivating people's it's because he's passionate about talking about fucking inequality and some of the policy prescriptions. People can actually connect in their brains to how it will affect their own lives rather than being
why can't we find somebody with the suave charisma of Bernie Sanders? Exactly. What are you talking about? Yeah. It's just, he just says the thing that people want to be said.
And yeah.
Doesn't matter how he fucking says it. He's just saying the thing. Yeah.
There's just there's even like another quote from one of these think tank people where they're just like, so much of it is essentially like the way to push back against Republicans is to first agree with their flawed premise that they're putting out to debate over. Agree with that and then debate within that flawed premise or that context.
That's
without
exactly right.
Actually speaking truth to power. Like that's their whole thing. So like, for example, the federal siege of DC, they're like, well, we don't want people are going to get the idea that Democrats don't care about crime if they're against what Trump is saying, because Trump is saying they're going in because of the crime. It's like, but that's bullshit. That's not why he's there.
Should be very easy to point that out.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would say that they're shifting the Overton window, but I don't want the Democratic police to arrest me.
Just so wild, too. It's like, we're going to police speech as a way to recapture our voice that's more realistic in line. It's like, do they really think, too, that people who don't live in like metropolitan areas or like larger cities aren't being affected by things like housing insecurity or food insecurity?
I don't know what either of those things mean.
That's just city talk or some shit?
Joey, could you translate that for me?
Hobos be hungry.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you very
much. Bows be hung.
There we go.
Wait a second.
Wow, wait.
That's a Republican thing now, actually, I think.
Wait. Are you running for Senate? Because you got my vote.
This guy tells it like
it's just like so fucking wild. And again, like we talk all the time about crime. It's like conceding this idea or seeding this idea like crime is just a thing like people of color do in cities, rather than being like, this is like the result of having no financial recourse or stability in your communities. Like you have to resort to like extra legal options to do things like that. That's one thing. But again, that's a headier idea to wrap your head around. And I think that's what they're also trying to like avoid generally. It's like, we can't just stop. We can't keep explaining these kinds of things. Fine. But you can still espouse these same values in a way that maybe doesn't sound as academic. To just say like, stop talking about this at all, I think just really sort of reveals that their whole thing is like, we're trying to halt all progress here. We're trying to literally need to go back to like 1988.
You've had the charismatic people for centrism. You had, Barack Obama. He was so charismatic. He used the language of the left with like hope and change, and just had the energy of somebody that was actually going to change things. And then he laundered that energy into fucking centrism that didn't go anywhere. So now like it's like people who we've had that before, and now we're inoculated against it, and it doesn't fucking work anymore.
Yeah.
So like that's why there's no more, like, everybody lived through that. There's like a major financial crisis. He swept to power with like language of like hope and change, and like, then proceeded to bail out big banks and now people are like kind of inoculated against that. So that there's your fucking problem. And now you actually have to do the fucking change and less on the hope.
Yeah, I think I've got an answer to all of this, and that's getting the endorsement of Meghan McCain.
Thank you.
Yeah,
triangulation. Let's just
guys, if Meghan McCain likes it, right? Fuck Meghan McCain.
How hard do you think they're lobbying Barack Obama to run again in the next election? I feel like
just to be like, fuck it, all bets are off. You know, they're talking about that.
He can do it. Why don't you do it?
Yeah,
I feel like that's probably where we're headed. Like if they have their way, obviously I couldn't imagine.
How hard do you think they're lobbying for Joe Biden to run again? Like, he only got one term. He can get another one. Look, he still got it.
I'm just saying.
With Obama as vice president.
Oh, there we go. That way we're looking to the future.
Then Obama's your Manchurian candidate if Biden goes down. That you get Obama again.
Biden goes down.
Yeah. Obama might have had 2 terms as president, but he said 0 terms as vice president.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paula Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians.
I would be the first immigrant mayor in generations, but 40% of New Yorkers were born outside of this country.
Artists and activists. I mean, do you ever feel demoralized?
I might personally lose hope. This individual might lose the faith, but there's an institution that doesn't lose faith. And that's what I've believed in.
To bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
There's not a single day that Paula and I don't call or text each other, sharing news and thoughts about what's happening in the country. This new podcast will be a way to make that ongoing intergenerational conversation public.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paula Ramos as part of the My Cultura podcast network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When news broke earlier this year that baby KJ, a newborn in Philadelphia, had successfully received the world's first personalized gene editing treatment, it represented a milestone for both researchers and patients. But there's a gripping tale of discovery behind this accomplishment and its creators. I'm Evan Ratliff, and together with biographer Walter Isaacson, we're delving into the story of Nobel Prize winner Jennifer Doudna, the woman who's helped change the trajectory of humanity. Listen to On CRISPR, the story of Jennifer Doudna with Walter Isaacson on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a tape recorded statement. The person being interviewed is Krista Gale Pike. This is in regards to the death of a choline slimmer.
She just started going off on me, but I hit her. I just hit her and hit her and hit her and hit her.
On a cold January day in 1995, 18-year-old Krista Pike killed 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer in the woods of Knoxville, Tennessee. Since her conviction, Krista has been sitting on death row.
The state has asked for an execution date for Krista.
We let people languish in prison for decades, raising questions about who we consider fundamentally unrestorable. How does someone prove that they deserve to live?
We are starting the recording now. Please state your first and last name.
Krista Pike.
Listen to Unrestorable Season 2, Proof of Life, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
My name is Ed. Everyone say hello, Ed. I'm from a very rural background myself. My dad is a farmer, and my mum is a cousin, so it's not like...
What do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? I know it sounds like the start of a bad joke, but that really was my reality 9 years ago.
I just normally do straight stand-up, but this is a bit different.
On stage stood a comedian with a story that no one expected to hear.
On the 22nd of July 2015, a 23-year-old man had killed his family. And then he came to my house.
So what do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? A new podcast called Wisecrack, where stand-up comedy and murder take center stage. Available now. Listen to Wisecrack on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back.
We're back, man.
And it's not just my favorite artists who are utilizing AI tools to create great stuff on the internet. We talked recently about those adorable fat cats having terrible things happen to them in slideshows that are just ways to, machines using their machine learning to juice our human empathy out of us, like a milking machine in a milking factory, a fake calf mouth
milking factory.
It's just
at a dairy
milking factory. That's what I call them.
Hell yeah!
But what about religion? And if evangelicals are getting in on the act, they're using AI to recreate scenes from the Bible, specifically the ones that lend themselves to like having 300 vibes. The one that I watched was a scene from the Bible that I think I was like vaguely familiar with, but it was one of the many times that the people who like, this is in an era when God is like regularly talking to people, like doing fucking miracles all over the place, speaking from a cloud to people. And they're like,
wait, I think that was Kratos from God of War.
One of the scenes is Kratos. Because all of these are just recycled scenes from other movies and shit.
Right.
But so at this point in human history, according to the Bible, everyone's like, there's like a powerful booming voice coming from the sky and like bushes bursting into flame that talk to us. But I think I'm going to go with this guy who's like got a golden bull over here. I think that's what we're going to worship. So it's another one of those situations. And they're like, all right, here's the deal. I'm a real prophet. You're the guy with the golden bull. We're going to do a contest where like we both slaughter a bull, and if your bull bursts into flames, your God's the real one. If my bull bursts into flames, my God's the real one. Which seems like kind of arbitrary. It seems like a thing where you'd be like, wait, do you have like some bull that bursts into flames or something?
No.
Yeah.
It's not a goosed bull. This thing isn't goosed.
I feel like this bull is goosed, man.
He's got a goose suit on.
If I was there, I would have just stuffed my bull with dynamite as a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That thing's not just going to burst into flames. It's going to blow up.
It's going to blow up, dude. And then we got kebabs.
So back then, God was way less subtle than God is now. Like now, the evidence of God, if you talk to people who like are really into God, are like a sunset, man. Look at the beauty of that sunset. That's God's work. Back then, they did a contest. And God literally just like dropped a straight up fire tornado out of the sky onto the bull. That was like, he was like, fire will, the bull will catch on fire. And God was like, whoopah! And so really easy to have faith in those circumstances. But that's one of the stories that they tell us with the help of AI. Some theologians are concerned because the company doing it is talking about doing a entire Marvel Cinematic Universe of the Bible.
Hell yeah. When Moses shows up, what a pop. What
a God, bro. I can't wait. It really gets good after Moses.
And Iron Man will be appearing every once in a while, but that's, that's artistic license.
Not on purpose. Not on purpose. That's just they're training it off of, an Avengers movie.
Endgame,
it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
They don't know how to remove that.
When Christ emerged from the portals, that battle against Thanos after the third day after the crucifixion, you're like, wait, what?
I mean, that would be sick.
There is a screen cap of Jesus on a golden throne. I think this must be Jesus.
Okay.
On a golden throne in a like half toga, just fucking shredded.
He looks like fucking The Rock in that fucking Smashing Machine trailer.
Yeah.
One thing I absolutely love about this photo is that if you look at it, Jesus does not have a seat on the throne.
No.
So he's just holding a squat for all eternity.
That's what toilets were back then, man.
Hell yeah.
Just like kind of squatted in between two
with
pillars.
Some elbow rests.
Yeah.
Also, the people who are making this stuff, they're very specific in this interview saying, it's not slop, okay?
Yeah.
It's not slop. It's not. It's telling a story that has clearly been trained on a bunch of those like 9/11 action movies that took place in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
You know, how, like where everything's like yellow to establish that it's happening in the Middle East, and like, you know, there's like prayer calls and like music that sounds like their interpretation of the Middle East. You know?
Yeah.
So a couple things about this. I love that a lot of these videos are just cyberpunk for no reason. It's just like you'll cut to a shot of a guy that's got like, I don't know, like a tricorder over his eyes or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
like
skimming through one of them, there's a guy sleeping on a bed with way too many pillows on his belly.
got way
It's
too
like,
many pillows.
Yeah, it's like, that's not enough. That's clearly AI. There's also, in this article, there's an AI video of Jesus recording a podcast with the Easter Bunny, and Jesus is wearing a podcast headset over his crown of thorns. Which would be way too crinkly for your audio. I mean, look, all of us
tried it before.
Yeah. Look, we're wearing crowns of thorns, and
Yeah.
it's like, we make it work. But Jesus, I don't buy it in that picture.
It's like, I get that, like, you can pretend you're trying to do this for like some kind of Christian motivation, but clearly that they're just fully in the AI slop for profit like field here, like and hoping they're going to make a ton of money. Because like, do they honestly, for a second, if their aims are sincere, are you going to be compelled to become a Christian because you saw a guy with a fucking like janky Final Fantasy broadsword fight a dragon that you maybe saw from Game of Thrones?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, well,
yeah, I'm actually very easily swayed.
Hold on, what religion is this?
I'm being baptized right now.
It's the whole like get them in the door thing that I feel like is also the logic behind every Christian rock band, or you know, like when people are like, yeah, I play in my band at my church. We're actually like not like that sounds, you know, it's not organs and stuff. I actually play an electric guitar. It's just like,
When y'all were kids and you like trick-or-treated, did you ever get those like comic strips from some houses where they'd be like, we don't have candy, but we have a comic book for you? And the front page would say like good news on it or something like that. And then it'd be just a comic where like Jesus is saving a bunch of kids or something like that.
Oh, no. Shit, dude. But I've gotten those like outside of sporting events and stuff like that before. Yeah.
Like this feels like it's this is the modern equivalent of that for sure.
Oh God, right? They're like, hey, you guys
what were
like
those
TikTok?
called? They're like tracts or something. They're like a comic book. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they'd be like, you love comic books. Here's a comic book. And then it's just like it's
you're gonna burn in hell.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you ate candy? Good luck, fucker, being down there with Satan, bitch. You're like, what the fuck is this? I just asked if they had Kit Kat bars.
All I'm saying is if the Democratic establishment talked more like that, people would be voting for them.
Thank you.
The Democrats need to start calling kids bitches more, man. That's the
that
problem.
would make me vote for them more.
Look at these little bitches out here. Like, what the fuck?
That would work.
Somehow you're like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, them bitches were tripping.
Doesn't leave a lot of room for the turn the other cheek type cuck stuff that Jesus was always talking. So I'm assuming this will like kind of whittle down the message of Christianity to one that has more to do with just like prosperity and violently defeating your enemies.
Yeah,
which seems like it was kind of the opposite of the point.
Yeah, want to see a buff Jesus kill a dragon with a bazooka?
Right.
It's like, I mean, yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait till they get to Mary Magdalene. What the AI slop does to the image of Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
You could actually find that stuff already on certain websites.
Yeah.
If you're interested in Jesus and Mary Magdalene, you go on a couple websites you can't access in the state of Florida.
Joey, such a pleasure having you, as always, on the Daily Zeitgeist. Where can people find you, follow you, all that good stuff?
Thanks so much for having me. I always love, chatting with y'all on the Zeit Gang and all that. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at Joey Clift with 5 or 6 eyes because a 12-year-old took Joey Clift with 1 eye and I just have to deal. Also, I've said that for so long, he's probably like 20 right now, so I could probably just fight him if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, like, Joey, we could, let's find him.
Yeah,
we could find offer
this
to like, you guys, one of you slaughters a bull, the other one slaughters a bull, and you see which one bursts into flames.
I'm just asking for an idea trade, and by that I mean give me my handle, please.
Give me your shit back, man.
And then you can find me on Blue Sky, TikTok, and X/Twitter at Joeytainment. And you can watch Gone Native at gonenative.tv. And then a couple of things I definitely wanted to shout out and promote. I've got an animated short film called Pow that's currently going through the film festival circuit. It's a really cool film about a young native kid trying to find a place to charge their video game console at powwow. It's kind of like Reservation Dogs meets Looney Tunes, and we're winning a bunch of awards. It'll be online soon, so if you follow me on socials, you'll find out how to watch that. And then awesome. Really excited about this. September 24th, I'm a writer on a show called Rubble and Crew, which is in the greater Paw Patrol universe. We're introducing the first native character in the history of the Paw Patrol universe on this show. Rubble and Crew, September 24th. Watch it on Nickelodeon. I'm really excited about that. And other than that,
Rubble is my favorite of the Paw Patrol.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog who works in a construction company. And Rubble and Crew's. What if he had a construction company with his whole family? You know, it's very cute, very fun. And listen to this Daily Zeitgeist. This is a fantastic podcast.
Oh my God.
And don't use any of those 45 words. The Democrats say it's bad.
Do not.
Read that article. I'm promoting.
I will
read that
always
article.
say existential threat. I will never stop saying existential threat.
Wonderful. So those are the works of media that you've been enjoying, I'm assuming. Anything else you want to shout out?
Okay. So a work of media that I've really been enjoying. Okay. So there's a Twitter account /X Farside Fix that just posts old Farside comics.
Oh.
And they posted one that I really love. It's from November 24th, 1982. And it's a picture of like a lady opening up a can of dog food, and then there are two hungry dogs behind her that are going, "Oh boy, it's dog food again." Very funny. Also, quick story. So I went to the same college as Gary Larson. He's an alumni of WSU. And after he graduated, years and years before me. After I graduated, I emailed his publisher basically to say like, "Hey, I'd love to just like let him know that he's a big reason that I want to pursue comedy. I'd love to, get on a Zoom with him or just, send him a thank you." And they got back to me immediately and then said, Gary Larson would have no interest in that interaction. It was like
hey, thanks, man. All right, cool.
Yeah, it wasn't a thanks. It was just Gary Larson does not care.
Holy shit.
Gary Larson does not care about this interaction.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, shout out to Gary Larson. He doesn't want people to find out that he has a tiny head and a giant body. All those characters. Miles, where can people find you as their work of media you've been enjoying?
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at Miles of Gray. We're back with 420 Day Fiance, talking 90 Day Fiance, Sophia and I. So check that out. And yeah, what else? Something I like. Yes, here's one. As somebody who is about to have school photos day for their little one, at siege.online on Blue Sky posted, "Yeah, I love to gamble. Pay $100 for a school photo package and hope my kid remembers to look normal." And then
I've gotten some of the wildest. Like one time, my kid he looked like the part in Airplane where the guy's like, "Bad day to quit sniffing glue." Like he was just like looked so fucking high, and like his hair was like going in all these different directions. It was incredible work by him.
Is that the one you used for the yearbook? Were you like,
I wish they actually were willing to. They have like retake days because sometimes they fuck things up so bad, and they were like, "Yeah, man, this one's on us. We'll take this one again."
At the preschool my kid goes to, they did two looks for him, because one was like he looked like a apostle of the Unabomber or something, just like wacky hair, and he has this look where he's like and then another one where he's like very normal, and we're like, but Her Majesty and I were like, we like the Unabomber one.
We kind of like that Unabomber one.
That's where it's at. And another one I like is at LEYAWN Leon.bsky.social posted Curb episode where Larry gets dragged to a birthday party for a guy he doesn't know and decides to write something funny in the guest book. Cut to present day, Larry's at home watching the evening news. Comedian Larry David wrote, "Happy birthday, I know your little secret," in Jeffrey Epstein's book.
Work of media I've been enjoying. Molly Knight on Blue Sky, Molly KNIGHT, wrote, "What a humiliating way for Don Jr. to find out his dad sends birthday cards," which I thought was fucked up.
Damn.
To imagine.
Damn.
You can find me on Blue Sky at JackOB1. You can find me on Twitter at Jack_O'Brien. You can find us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daily Zeitgeist. We're at The Daily Zeitgeist on Instagram. You can go to the description of this episode wherever you're listening to it, and there at the bottom you will find the footnotes, which is where we link off to the information that we talked about in today's episode. We also like to link off to a song that we think you might enjoy. Hey, Miles, is there a song that you think the people might enjoy?
A song called Golden.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have fucking heard, but I guess they say Labor Day is like the last day of summer, but there's also, I'm a big Kevin Parker, Tame Impala fan, and he's got a new album on its way out. It's called Deadbeat. It's not out yet. I think it comes out in October, but one of the first singles off that is called End of Summer. And if you like Tame Impala, like it's got that sort of Kevin Parker aesthetic, but it sounds like this album is more dancey a little bit. But it's just a fun track to listen to. So this is Tame Impala, End of Summer. Check it out.
All right, we will link off to that in the footnotes. The Daily Zeitgeist is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. That's going to do it for us this morning. Back this afternoon to tell you what is trending, and we'll talk to y'all then. Bye.
Bye.
The Daily Zeitgeist is executive produced by Catherine Long.
Co-produced by Bei Wang.
Co-produced by Victor Wright.
Co-written by J.M. McNabb.
Edited and engineered by Justin Connor.
I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paula Ramos.
Together we're launching The Moment, a new podcast about what it means to live through a time as uncertain as this one.
We sit down with politicians, artists, and activists to bring you depth and analysis from a unique Latino perspective.
The Moment is a space for the conversations we've been having as father and daughter for years.
Listen to The Moment with Jorge Ramos and Paula Ramos on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On a cold January day in 1995, 18-year-old Krista Pike killed 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer in the woods of Knoxville, Tennessee. Since her conviction, Krista has been sitting on death row. How does someone prove that they deserve to live?
We are starting the recording now. Please state your first and last name.
Krista Pike.
Listen to Unrestorable Season 2, Proof of Life, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I just normally do straight stand-up, but this is a bit different.
What do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? Answer: a new podcast called Wisecrack, where a comedian finds himself at the center of a chilling true crime story.
Does anyone know what show they've come to see? It's a story. It's about the scariest night of my life.
This is Wisecrack, available now. Listen to Wisecrack on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When news broke earlier this year that baby KJ, a newborn in Philadelphia, had successfully received the world's first personalized gene editing treatment, it represented a milestone for both researchers and patients. But there's a gripping tale of discovery behind this accomplishment and its creators. I'm Evan Ratliff, and together with biographer Walter Isaacson, we're delving into the story of Nobel Prize winner Jennifer Doudna, the woman who's helped change the trajectory of humanity. Listen to On CRISPR, the story of Jennifer Doudna with Walter Isaacson on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast.